share a little of my personal journey in the sales industry, because I've been selling products forever. So I began my professional sales career in the home improvement industry, where I was trained to be a one-call closer. I would go on to be one of the top producers in the company with earnings of over $80,000 to $90,000 a year. I was very young, making a lot of money, and doing something that I enjoyed and I loved. This particular career, sales, is what I was meant to do. I enjoy it. It's not work for me. I like meeting people. I like making money, and it's easy. And for some of you new guys that are in here, it's going to be very easy for you too. But I want to challenge you to put in the hard work and the effort that it takes to get good at your craft. These guys here, look at this, man. They lay out the tools for you. It's right there. Can you see it? Can you? It's right there. All you have to do is just put in the hard work and do it. So, in 1990, I would launch Allied Siding and Window Company, buy a beautiful home in Marion, the love of my life, and accomplish many of my dreams. I was living my dreams.
Hey, Liz, you speak into the microphone. We can't hear you back here.
Oh. I said, yeah, in 1990,
Thanks.
I would launch Allied Siding and Window, buy a beautiful home, marry a wonderful woman, and I was living my dream. 2006, I would suffer a major stroke that would break me down to my knees. After a year and a half of rehab, I was so deep in debt, torn and broken, I would lose just about everything. I took a job with a cooperative marketing and advertising registered receipt company in 2009, and I had another major setback. In 2006, I took a job with cooperative marketing and advertising. 3 years later, I would have another major setback, and that was another stroke. And I wasn't taking my meds. And my doctor is he's from Africa. And he said, "What's wrong with you, man?" He said, "You people in America have got medication and won't take it." And so I would go into the hospital, and it wasn't that bad, not like the first one. It's minor. But I had to get on insulin, no more pills. And I told my doctor, I said, "I'm not going to use a needle." He says, "I'm only going to show you once." He says, "If you want to live, you'll take the shot." Fresh out of the hospital, we had a sales meeting where I learned that our competitor, our arch rival, had taken over all of our stores and our contracts. All of them. I had no work. Now, I have been working on this comeback, and I have been doing pretty good. I wanted my life back the way it used to be. I was used to years of making money, and Lord knows, when they say when it rains and it pours, well, let me tell you, the club was at my door. And so I went out and interviewed, actually. I wanted to see what my net worth was in the selling industry. And I had gotten 2 job interviews and 2 job offers. I was scheduled to go to Chicago for training with an insurance company, pretty big job. And I knew better than to come to RRA. That wasn't the place I was going to go. But there is a learning curve in sales. And that's why I mentioned to you guys earlier, and I talked to some of the people, and I challenge you to give it 3 years. Because you're going to get, the first year you might stumble a little bit, and you have to get your feet out. Now, some people like maybe follow, so you can probably take off and fly, but most people are average like me. that are good. It takes a little while to get your feet off, and far too often, I see really terrific new recruits that we get that don't give it the time that is necessary to become very successful. Even with all the tools, they give up on themselves. They say it's it's something magical about Paula, John, my buddy over here. The only thing that's magical is that they get up and go to work every single day. That's it. So what happened was I called RRA for an interview, and I talked to Roger first, and then Roger gave me to Kevin. So my immediate thought was, I really don't like him. Now he gives me to somebody subordinate. So the meeting was set. The meeting was set, and I knew I was going into the Lions Den. And that's what I told everybody at home. Okay, you're ready to go in here. You know. I met with Kevin, John, and Denise for this interview. That was really an interrogation. Finally, I told Kevin I was here on my own merits, and all I needed was some contracts, and I could show them what I could do. Kevin asked John and Denise what they thought. Sweet Denise, she says, I like him.
You thought you were going to be on my team?
She said, let's get him some contracts. So they gave me some contracts, and they really didn't know me, I really didn't know them, and all I knew was that I was hungry. And those contracts to me were money. And guys, when you get those contracts and those packets that we sometimes hand out, that is just exactly what it is. It's money. All you have to do is fill it out and do the work. So I went out, and man, let me tell you, I was finding contracts left and right. Every time I'd come in the office, Kevin would meet me and say, good job. Roger would come out and he'd say, good job. And then they'd go get me a check right away. Now, I've been in the sales industry a long time. I knew this was going to change. I just didn't know when. But of course, I was rocking and rolling, and things was going good. And my full intention was to do it as long as it lasted, until they shut it down. Sell as much as you can sell, because this was fast money for me. I didn't have to learn. I've already worked in stores. I knew there was money out there. I knew how to get it. I knew what I needed to do. I just really needed the contract. I called, I left the office feeling pretty good, and you see I had a lot of contracts, which meant I had an opportunity to make money. And honestly, I needed to make money. I was hungry, I needed meds, I needed to sell some ads, and I did. One day I came into the office wanting to get paid on a contract and was told they wouldn't pay me like that anymore. I had to get paid once a week like everyone else. So that's when it came down.
You know it's coming.
I stood by Kevin's office and I looked at him, and I promised I never said a word. He came out and said, "You need some money to keep going, don't you?" I whispered, "Yes." He reached in his pocket, gave me $400, and said, "Is that enough money to keep you going?" I whispered, "Yes." As I walked out the door, he shouted, "I believe in you, bro." I smiled because that was the first day I began to believe in him and RRA.
Aww.
So, you know, to be honest with you guys, I didn't spend a lot of time on this. I'm going to end this up right now. 3 years has now passed, and I'm not hungry anymore. And I'm happy and healthy again. I'm glad to report my hunch was right. This is a great company to work for. And I challenge all the new recruits to give it 3 years. And you too will be happy.